Welcome to the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast, where we're joined by your hosts, Tania Gomez and Paul Bryant. In each episode, we'll be sharing valuable insights and tips to help you turn your NDIS business into a profitable venture. So whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, you've come to the right place. Let's stop surviving and start thriving.
Hello and welcome back to the Profitable NDIS Provider Podcast. I'm your host, Tania, and I'm here with my co-host, Paul. Hey, Paul, how are you going today?
G'day, Tania. I'm doing really well, and I'm really excited about today. We're going to have a chat with Penioni from Able Minds. How you going?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Look, I've got a little bit of information here. Penioni, the director of Able Minds, passionate about the quality of life of participants, which is the reason why he chose this industry. It's a healthy balance between innovative, fun, and purpose in an individual's life that can go a long way. Mate, that's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit, really quickly, about Able Minds and what you do?
Yeah, so Able Minds focuses on two key pillars of life, and what I believe the two key pillars is employment and health and fitness. With our supported employment program, we offer this full pathway from pre-employment training to upskilling and qualification course to open wage employment. With personal training, the health and fitness industry, we focus on the social side of things. So bringing a positive experience to training hard, being disciplined, and being active, really. So, yeah.
Amazing. I think that they are both such amazing things to focus on. You know, solving those problems for participants would make such a huge difference in their lives. If you think about how important employment is in, contributing to society, earning a living, creating a livelihood, and then obviously health and fitness is so important, especially with people with disability, with the rates of obesity and other health issues. Health and fitness is incredibly important. So I think it's really fantastic that you're focusing on those two pillars and helping participants navigate those. I'm really interested in supported employment and kind of what that actually means. So for those who are unfamiliar with the concept, can you explain what supported employment is and how it might differ from other employment programs we might already know, whether it be Disability Employment Services or DES or other types of employment programs out there?
So, supported employment is a specialized program for participants to join the workforce and achieve employment goals. It differs from DES programs because of the ongoing and long-term supports. With the person-centered approach and the additional supports through the NDIS, we're able to create a unique service designed for people with disabilities.
Brilliant. And that whole framework that's there is, in my opinion, is such an important part of how the NDIS is operating, because it is actually like a results-based area, right? We can see someone on the pathway to getting regular employment or seeing these opportunities. How do you feel that is how that fits into the NDIS? Like with all the options, there's so many line items, for goodness sake, that people can use for different things. How do you see supported employment fitting into the NDIS and where they want the NDIS to go?
Supported employment plays a massive role in the NDIS framework. The purpose of NDIS is to promote independence, new opportunities, and I feel employment gives a sense of purpose. With support employment, there's also Find a Job, Keep a Job funding, SLES funding, community capacity building for employment, funding for participants to join and get involved into the employment space.
Amazing. Can you tell us a little bit more about the supported employment pathway programs you run, and how they kind of work and what you do with participants?
Yeah, so at Able Minds, we have a full employment pathway. Um, we offer the pre-employment training, which also falls under SLES. That's School Leavers Employment Support. Um, After that, we offer the qualification route with the RTO. We have two currently available, Cert 3 in hospitality and Cert 2 in horticulture. That feeds into a 12-month traineeship with Able Minds as well. This is all supported through the open wage model. And what we do is we contract to aged care providers to support that open wage structure. Um, Also, we're partnered with Training New South Wales that's funded the course with the RTO as well, which is exciting. And we currently have a gardening crew that go out Monday to Friday, and we're about to launch a mobile cafe in the near future. So,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Hey, with all of that going on, like, what made you start and actually dive into this specific space? Like, what was the driver for going, you know what, I can really see a gap here. I want to help people with this specifically.
Yeah, so I've actually been in the NDIS space as a support worker for the last 6 years. So straight out of high school, I went into a school for autism students. I worked there for 3 to 4 years, and then the last 2 years, I joined a non-for-profit that specialized in employment or supported employment.
Mm-hmm.
I managed um, the employment program, and the first year I was there, the participants were teaching me how to do the job, and they were on subsidized wages, so the ADE wages. And to me, that just was ethically wrong. That they've been there for 10, 15 plus years doing the same job. Um, and don't get me wrong, they were loving it. They were loving what they were doing. But I just feel like that there was a gap of the next step to that. And I feel like the next step could be the open wage employment with the NDIS supports as well, that would feed into the real world in that sort of sense. So um, that's kind of my focus. There is a gap in between the open wage and the supported environment,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to fill that with support.
Trying to fill that gap. I love it. And I think that's such an important area because there is, I think, still a lot of people really unsure of what that process looks like for someone going through looking for employment. And, you know, for so many, and I love how you have those two pillars of employment and fitness, because both of those relate so much to, you know, someone's mental health and their stability to be able to handle things and resilience. So I think it's really key that you've worked on both of those. What type of like training and skills development do you offer participants to help them prepare for the workforce?
Yeah, so like I said, we have the pre-employment training course. It goes from 10 to 16 weeks, depending on the participant's needs and support. Through that 10 to 16 weeks, we go through safety procedures, goal settings, task analysis, WHS, and we also implement work experience as well. We try to focus more on the practical side than the theory side, because most of our cohort is more of an intellectual disability, so we kind of tailor it to them. And then once they complete that with the traineeship course, they have an extra 3 weeks of 6 days of soft skill and practical training with them. That transfers into the traineeship, which there is still once a month of upskilling throughout the 12 months, plus one-to-one meetings as a staff with myself. So it's very comprehensive, but it's needed.
So I know you've talked about open employment, and we've talked about supported employment, and we've talked about ADE wages. Can you just break down for us what these things mean? So what is the difference between supported employment and open employment? And what does this mean? And what is the difference between an ADE wage and an open wage? Can you just explain that so that we can kind of understand the bridge that we're trying to gap?
Yeah, so the ADE is Australian Disability Enterprise, and it's a non-for-profit organization. Um, Most ADEs are, I guess, a warehouse or some sort of um, pick packing job, so it's very routine based. Um, that's usually a subsidized environment, so they would judge. They'll get a trainer and assessor to come and judge the participant on the capacity that they can work at. And then they'll give a percentage of the minimum rate. So some clients can only work 10% of the job, they'll get 10% of the minimum rate. Right now it's around 23.46 an hour, so they'll get 10% of that. That's
Wow.
the ADE rate. The support employment and open wage rate is we pay on minimum wage, which is, like I said, 23.46, and we support them on that, which I feel like is needed in this space. We're just trying to restore, I guess, human dignity and pay what they're worth in some sort of sense.
Yeah. Wow. So in an ADE, so these is an ADE salary similar to what is occurring through a DES program?
Uh, DES program is they promote open wage as well. What they do when a participant goes through the DES program, they get subsidies from the government. So if an employer hires a DES participant, they have to pay on open wage, but then they get subsidies from the government as being the employer and providing them the opportunity.
Right. So I thought that was probably important to note, so that what we're really talking about in your service is that you have identified that you didn't feel comfortable or that it was fair for participants to be earning $2.30 something an hour.
Mm.
Instead, you're creating a pathway program that is moving from the $2 something an hour towards the minimum wage, which is what we're calling open employment wages, which is the wage that anyone else doing that job would receive.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and I do feel like the way NDIS is going, it's moving towards the minimum wage environment as well. So we're just trying to start that movement.
Yeah. And how you do that is through your programs with the barista, so you train people as a barista. They can go into a program as an apprenticeship, or sorry, a traineeship. Um,
Mm.
and that's why you're setting up these coffee vans so that you can actually hire people on normal salaries to come and provide coffee making in the vans, and or they can come and learn how to be I don't know the name for it.
Gardener.
Lawnmower gardeners.
Yeah.
Okay. Gardeners. And that's why they do the horticulture qualification. They come and learn with you to be a gardener. They do a qualification in that, and then they're put it into a traineeship with you directly. So you're then the employer, you're receiving a subsidy, you're paying them an open wage, and you're teaching them skills ongoing as far as becoming a gardener goes.
Yes, that's correct.
Right. Okay. So that makes more sense to me
Mm.
now. I'm trying to figure out how all of the pieces fit together. I
Mm.
think I understand what is supported employment is from an auditor's perspective, but I certainly don't understand it from a provider's perspective of how these things actually all fit together, which is
Mm.
kind of scary that an auditor can audit you without knowing what really you do, but that is how the system works. Um, so yes, I think that's really interesting. So can you tell me a little bit more about the kind of clients that you get in your barista programs or in your
Yeah.
gardening programs? What are the types of participants? What types of disability? disability? How old are they? How do you help them? And is there any that you can tell us about that have amazing success stories that you wanted to highlight?
Yeah, so the types of participants we currently service are intellectual disabilities, ASD disabilities, um, and we've been operating for a year now, and we've had 5 participants that have gone through the process and is now currently working on open wage employment through us with a
That's very good.
guardian. Um, we've had 3 participants that went through the traineeship cert 3 in hospitality. That's just waiting for us to open our mobile van. So 8 participants so far has gone through the course and loving it, loving the process.
Amazing. And can you tell us about any specific participants and I guess what they're doing now as a result? What does open employment look like for them?
So right now they're working 2 days a week, 7.6 hours, like a normal employee, and they've really working on, I guess, work-life balance with our training program on the Saturday. So what they do is work throughout the week, train on the weekends, and then go and enjoy a activity after that. So that's kind of the balance and what we're trying to work on with our participants, and they're just loving everything that we're doing so far.
Wonderful. It sounds like you're really trying to create a community and a center for participants to come together, work on important things, but also
Mm.
be supported throughout not just getting a job and not just getting fit, but actually let's create an amazing life together.
Yeah, 100%. That's our mission.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. I think that there's so much power in that, and it's inspiring to see someone as young as you. Like you said that you'd only been out of school for 6 years. It makes me feel very old. But no, it's amazing to see someone as young as you making so many moves towards creating better lives for people with disability. I think it's inspirational. Um,
I appreciate that.
One other thing that I wanted to ask was that I know that recently you got to meet with the minister and you had
Mm.
you were tell us a little bit more about that. What was that about, and how did you get involved in that? And I guess what are your future goals as well?
Yeah, so Daly, the MP of Fowler, um, put a campaign out for a NDIS forum, which was I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. I applied for it. I told them, I guess, my story and what we're trying to do at Able Minds, and she gave me a table to host at the NDIS forum, and they did a panel there with the minister, Bill Shorten, and it was open question, it was open questionnaire environment, and people were just allowed to ask questions of where NDIS is going, what he's doing with the systems, with the backlog and everything. So it was a really eye-opening experience, and I asked a few questions myself, which was quite nerve wracking, but he kind of opened my eyes in a way that he's human as well, and he was really like relaxed with everything that he was saying and doing, and it was such an amazing experience to just to be a part of it. So that was pretty interesting, and I guess the future of Able Minds and the goals that we want to achieve. Um, I guess there's no real number we're trying to work towards. All we really want to do is give as many opportunities as we can for clients or participants that they might not have or received previously. Um, there was a fact out there. There's 1 billion people in this world living with a disability, and 80% of them are unemployed. And I just asked myself, why? Is it? I know there's different capabilities towards that and different reasons, but I feel like it's because it's less opportunity and there's less fun employment out there. So we're trying to change that and really make an impact and build a community.
That's brilliant. I love how you've gotten to this point of seeing a massive need and deciding not to sit back and hope someone else will do it, but take it by the horns, develop something, and not just develop something that is there, but gets results and has tangible results for participants. And that's what the NDIS is really about, is actually seeing people go on that journey, get the results that they need, and develop new skills. And open employment is such a massive part of people's lives, being able to fit in how they want to fit in and to be able to be a part and contribute and all that sort of stuff. So well done. I think you've done a fantastic job.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate that.
Hey guys, look, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a fantastic bit of information. I've learned a bundle of stuff about supported employment today, so that's been really, really cool. But this is the end of our episode, so thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you on our next episode. Thanks very much, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Profitable NDIS Provider podcast with Tania Gomez and Paul Bryan. We hope you found today's episode informative and valuable. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to subscribe, leave us a rating, and share it with others who could benefit from our insights. Until next time, keep thriving.